Hi, guys, and welcome to week 12. We are going to be talking about multimedia and how to use it to engage learners. You guys have already been looking at those resources. You should have chosen one video, audio, and image resource, and then viewed a couple of student created examples. And so your small group discussions are going on and talking a lot about how we can use these tools to engage learners in the learning process. So, you are going to be creating a collaborative presentation to share with each other some examples of the different things that you're going to create. And so, you are going to do this according to your small groups. So, you'll have slides for each small group that you're in. But let me tell you a little bit about what you're going to be doing first. On this first slide, and I will this slideshow will be embedded in week 12 as well. But I have linked on here these tools to explore. Now, I put it as a Google Doc because I'm going to keep adding to them. And so I have just linked some tools for each of the three different areas. That does not mean you have to use these to create the things that you're going to create here in a minute, but that's a good place to start. And so we're going to be looking at images, video, and audio. And another reason why I'm having you explore these things right now is because you are going to need to choose 4 out of the 5 different types of media to include in your HyperDocs lesson. As we have continued to talk about that, you explored several in the last couple weeks, and so I want you to become familiar. And so there's the 3 top that we are exploring this week. Text, you guys look at text all the time. Yes, it is a form of media. Websites, articles, all those kinds of things are text. But also I want you to start thinking about peers as multimedia. And the reason I want you to look at it like that is because we collaborate and use our colleagues, our students, all of the people that are around us to learn as well. And so when I say using peers as multimedia, that means you can have them do a collaborative project. You can do have them play a game with them together, have them brainstorm together. So different things like that to use their peers. And so you'll need to choose 4 out of these 5 to use in your HyperDocs lesson. So let's just review just a little bit about what HyperDocs are, and I want you to focus on these things. They allow for students to collaborate, okay, through sharing, okay, so they're going to be and then they create within the doc or through a link, and then they reflect and they connect to other areas. So you can look back at this as you're thinking about how you're going to create these things in your HyperDocs lesson, but also for this collaboration right here. So what you're going to do is first you're going to add your name to the slide on the part that you did. So you're going to be in your small group. So here's your small groups over here. So you're going to have 2 slides that you're going to add to for this collaborative presentation. So if you were assigned video, if you were in small group 1, you're going to do video. So there's 2 ways really that we use multimedia in teaching. One is by just viewing. So video consumption, which doesn't necessarily mean eat, but it means taking it in. Okay, so video consumption would be watching a YouTube video or watching a other kind of video, watching an animation, watching a simulation. So it is a passive viewing of something. And so you're going to answer these 3 questions. Why would you use it, or what value does it have? Link some examples that you explored, teachers showing their students video, and then how do you see yourself using that in your own classroom? So be specific with your content area. And then the other part of the video is the creation part. So students are not just viewing it, but they are actually creating it. And so if you work on this slide, I want you to add your name to the parts that you worked on. So we're going to add a couple of other things to this. The same questions: why use it, or what value does it have? Some examples that you explored. So this could be through a hashtag search on Twitter. You found some teachers that are utilizing having their students use different tools to create videos, and you can go back and do on this tools to explore link. You can actually do a hashtag search on any of these tools or at WeVideo or at Seesaw, and that will give you some ideas for and examples for how teachers are using them. But what you're going to you're also going to give some tools, either sites or apps that your students could use to create, and then how you see using it in your own classroom. What I'm doing right now is creating a video for you guys to see. So this would be a video creation for the teacher, and I'm using Screencastify, this little thing up here. I think I've talked about it before. And then what I want you to do is make an example to share and link. So if you want to make a really short Screencastify and link it here on this slide, because you guys are going to be exploring each other's. If you want to create a link or a video on Seesaw or on Flipgrid or on, there's lots of different options, but I want you to create an example either that you would do as a teacher or a student would do in your classroom with the content that you would be teaching. So that's the same thing with like small group 2 has video as well. So each small group, like we have 2 that have video creation and consumption. We have 2 groups that have audio. Okay, so just pay attention to your group number down here. And it's the same thing with audio consumption, just listening. Why use it, examples, and then seeing yourself in your classroom. So this would be like having kids listen to podcasts or having them listen to audio clips, and what would they do with that information? And then with audio, how would you have your students actually create something that would be just audio? How would they use that? How would they use it to share their learning? Okay, so 2 groups have audio, and then 2 groups also have images. So actually creating images, or this one's just viewing them. So how would you use pictures or images, clip art in your teaching? And then actually creating images. How could you have it? And this could be collages, it could be memes, it could be infographics, because those are all images that you could actually have your students create. And so that's what you're going to do today for your collaboration. And I look forward to seeing your examples and the things that you create. One thing that I would remind you, make sure that you share whatever tool that you're using. So, or whatever project you're doing. So if I create a video and I upload it to my Google Drive, I need to make sure it's either in my shared folder or that I share it with everybody so they can link it or so they can see it. And you're going to link on here. Now, after everybody has done this, after you've added all your stuff, then I want you to go and kind of explore the other options that you guys have had, explore the other small group slides that have they've created. And I want you to put a comment out to the side. So if I'm going to comment right here, I do Control-Alt-M, makes it make a comment. Or you could also add, highlight something and then just do this little comment up here, and then it'll do it as well. So I want you to comment on that, like, wow, that's a great idea. Never thought about using that one in my own classroom. Or ask a question for the people who did a little bit more research on these things. And that is it for this week's collaboration.